Eve, 1842. The beautiful city of London is ablaze with candlelight and smells of cooked turkey. Quite like a paradise, if you ask a poor old chap like me. Not quite amidst the Ebenezer Scrooge of Scrooge and Marley's counting house. Now you see, the second half of the house has been blackened and broken off for 7 Christmas seasons. That's right, old Marley is dead. Dead as a doornail. The city, however, wished it was named Scrooge they had seen in the papers that day, but not even the coldest of winters could wither the old Scrooge's skin. He despised the cold, which is why you could feel the heat of the fire all the way out in the streets. Oh, Christmas pudding! Scribble on my head!
Late again, Cratchit. I'll dock your pay even more if you even speak a word of an excuse.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah! Humbug.
Christmas a humbug, Uncle? You don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do? Merry Christmas? Bah! What right do you have to be merry? What reason do you have to be merry? You're poorly enough.
Come then. What right do you have to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough.
Humbug.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas, out upon Merry Christmas. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his own heart. He should.
Uncle!
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it to my own.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Then let me leave it alone then. Much good may it do you, and much good may it ever do you.
There are many things which I might have derived good by, which I have not profited, I dare say, Christmas among the rest. But I've always thought of Christmas time when it has come round, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time I know of in the long calendar of the year where men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely, and to think of people below them as if they were really fellow passengers to the grave, and not another race of creatures bound on other journeys. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pockets, I believe that it has done me good. It will do me good. And I say, God bless it.
Let me hear another sound from you, Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go to Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
I would rather die than dine with you.
But why, Uncle? Why?
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon.
Nay, Uncle, but you never came to see me before that happened. Why give it as a reason for not coming now?
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why cannot we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I am sorry, with all my heart, to find you so resolute. We have never had any quarrel to which I have been a party, but I have made the trial in homage to Christmas, and I will keep my Christmas humor to the last. So, Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
And a Merry Christmas to you as well, Mr. Cratchit.
Merry Christmas.
There's another fellow, my clerk, with 15 shillings a week and a wife and family, talking about Merry Christmas. I'll retire to Bedlam.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge, Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago on this very night.
We have no doubt his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
At this festive season of the year, Mrs. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we make some slight provisions for the poor and destitute, who suffer greatly at the present time.
Many thousands are in want of common necessaries, and hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the union workhouses are still in operation?
They are. Still, I wish I could say they were not.
The trim mill and the poor law are in full vigor then?
Both very busy, sir.
Oh. I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them. I'm very glad to hear it.
Under the impression that they scarcely furnish Christian cheer of mind or body to the multitude, a few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund for the poor to have meat, drink, and means of warmth.
We choose this time because it is a time of all others when one is keenly felt, and abundance rejoices. What shall I put down for you?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone, gentlemen. Since you asked me what I wish, that is my answer. I do not make myself merry at Christmas, and I do not make idle people merry. I help to support the establishments I have mentioned. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
But many cannot go there, and many would rather die.
If they would rather die, then so be it, and decrease the surplus population. Besides, excuse me, I don't know that.
But you might know it.
It's not a man's excuse to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, gentlemen. You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose?
If quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. You think yourself ill-used if I stop half a crown, I'll be bound. But you don't think me ill-used for paying a day wages for no work?
It's only once a year, sir.
Poor excuse for picking a man's pockets every 25th of December. But I suppose you shall have the day off, but be here all earlier the next morning.
Oh, I will, sir. Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas. Happy winter season. Good tidings. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
It's humbug still. I won't believe it. I know him. It's Marley's ghost. How now? What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then? You're particular for a shade.
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Can you sit down?
I can.
Do it then.
You don't believe in me?
I don't.
What evidence would you have of my reality beyond that of your senses?
I don't know.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You may be a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, undigested bit of beef. There's more gravy than grave of you. Whatever you are. You see this toothpick?
I do,
You're not looking at it.
but I see it notwithstanding.
Why, have but to swallow this, and be for the rest of my days persecuted by a legion of goblins. Humbug, I tell you. Humbug!
Ah!
Mercy, dreadful apparition! Why do you trouble me?
Man of the worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I do, I must. But why do spirits walk the earth, and why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men, and travel far and wide. If that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. It is doomed to wander the world. Oh, woe is me, and witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth, and turned into happiness.
You are better. Tell me why.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard. I gutted it of my own free will, and of my own free will, I bore it. Is this pattern strange to you? Or would you know the weight and length of the strong coil you bear yourself? It was as full, as heavy, and as long as this, 7 Christmas Eves ago. It's a ponderous chain.
Oh, Jacob, please. Comfort to me, Jacob, please.
I have none to give. A very little more is all permitted to me. I cannot rest, I cannot stay, I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit never rode beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hall and weary journeys that lie before me.
You must have been very slow about it.
Slow.
7 years dead, and traveling all that time?
The whole time. No rest, no peace. Incessant torture of remorse.
You travel fast?
On the wings of the wind.
Well, you must have gone over the great Columbia ground in 7 years.
Ah! Oh, captive bound in double irons! Not to know that ages of incessant labor by immortal creatures for the good of what is susceptible is all developed. Not to know that no space of regret can make amends for once life's opportunities misused. Yet such was I, oh, such was I.
But you were always a good man of business to me, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. At this time of the ruling year, I suffer most. Why did I walk through crowds of fellow beings with my eyes turned down? Hear me! My time is nearly gone.
Don't be so flowery, Jacob. Don't be so hard upon me, pray.
How is it that I appear before you in a shape you can see? I may not tell. I have sat beside you many and many a day. That is no light part of my penance. I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of my procuring.
You were always a good friend to me. Thank you.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance and hope you mentioned, Jacob?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Without the visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 9.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over with, Jacob?
Expect the second at the next night at the same hour. Expect the third upon the next, when the bell has ceased to vibrate at the stroke of 12. Look to see me no more, and look that, for your own sake, remember what has passed between us.
why it isn't possible that I've slept through an entire night and far into another afternoon and anything could have happened to the sun. Was it a dream or not? What the past? Half past. What into it? The hour itself and nothing else. Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
Is it possible for you to put your cap back on?
What? Would you so soon put out with worldly hands the light I give? Is it not enough that you are one of those passions that made this cap and forced me through whole trains of years to live it low upon my brow?
No, spirit, I meant no offense, but I may inquire as to what business has brought you here.
Your welfare?
Well, as I'm much obliged, a night of uninterrupted rest is better for my general welfare.
Your proclamation, then. Take heed.
Ah!
Rise and walk with me.
I am a mortal and liable to fall.
Bear but to touch my hand there, and you shall be upheld more than this.
I remember this place. I was bred in this place. I was a boy here.
Your lip is trembling, and what is that upon your cheek?
Nothing. Just something in my eye.
Do you remember the way?
Remember it? I can walk it blindfolded.
Strange to have forgotten it for so many years. Let us go on. These are but shadows of the things that have been done. They have no consciousness over us. The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still.
Why, it's Ali Baba. Dear old honest Ali Baba. Yes, I remember. When yonder solitary Christmas time, he was left alone. He did come for the first time, just like that. And there's Valentine and his wild brother Orson. There they go. And there's the Sultan's groom by the gate of Damascus. And there's the prince turned upside down by the genie. Sir, I'm right. What right had he be to be married by the princess? And there's the parrot with the green like pony and thing like lettuce growing out of it. Poor Robin Crusoe! Where have you been, Robin Crusoe? Thing was sailing around the island like it was a dream. Poor Robin Crusoe. Where have you been, Robin Crusoe? And there's Friday, running for his life to the little creek. Poor boy. I wish. But it's too late now.
What is the matter?
Nothing. The boy was singing a Christmas carol at my door. I just wish you'd given him something. That's all.
Let us see another Christmas.
Dear brother, I have come to bring you home, dear brother, to bring you home, home, home.
Home, little fan?
Yes, home for good and all, home forever and ever. Father is so much kinder than he used to be, that's home like heaven. He spoke so gently to me one night that I wasn't afraid to ask him once more if you could come home. And he said, yes, you should. And he sent me in a coach, and you to be a man, and you were never to come back here. But first, you spent all Christmas home with us and have the merriest time in a row.
You are quite a woman, little fan. Always a delicate little creature, whom a breath may have withered, but she had a large heart.
So she had. You're right, Spirit. I will not gainsay it. God forbid.
She died a woman and had, as I think, children.
One child.
True, your nephew.
Yes.
Do you know this place?
Know it? I was apprentice here. Why, it's old Fizberg alive again. Bless his heart.
Yo ho there! Peter!
Mr. Wilson, to be sure. He was very much attached to me. Was rich. Poor rich. Dear, dear.
Yo ho, my boys, no more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Richard. Christmas Ebenezer. Let's have a seven till before night and say Jack Robinson. Hi ho, clear away my lads, let's have lots of room here. Hi ho, Richard. Sure, Ebenezer.
A small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small.
Why, is it not? He has spent but a few pounds of our more money, 3 or 4 perhaps. Is it not enough that he wants a little praise?
It isn't that. It isn't that spirit. It's the power to render us happy or unhappy. Pleasure to make a service light or burdensome. Say that his power lies in words and looks to make us so slight and insignificant that it is impossible to count him up. What then? The happiness he gives is quite as great as it costs a fortune.
What is the matter?
Nothing particular.
Something, I think.
Nothing. I should be able to say a word or two to my clerk now. That's all.
My time grows short. Quick!
It matters little to you, very little. Another idol has displaced me, and if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come, as I would have tried to do, I've no just cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
This is the even-handed dealing of the world. There's nothing on which is so hard as poverty, and nothing professes to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth.
You fear the world too much. All your hopes have merged into the hope of being beyond its chance of extorted reproach. I have seen your nobler aspirations fall off one by one until the master passion gain engrosses you. Have I not?
What then? Even if I've grown so much wiser, what then? I'm not changed towards you. Am I?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so until a good season. We could improve our worldly fortune by our patient industry. You will change. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Your own feeling tells you that you are not what you are. That which promised happiness when we were one in heart is now fraught with misery now that we are two. How often and how keenly I've thought of this, I will not say. It is enough I've thought of it, and can release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words? No, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit, another atmosphere of life, and anything that made my love of any worth or value in your sight. If this had never been between us, tell me, would you seek me out and try to win me now? No.
You think not?
I would gladly think otherwise if I could. Heaven knows, when I have learned a truth like this, and how strong and irresistible it must be. But if you were free today, tomorrow, yesterday, can I even believe you would choose a dowerless girl? You who, in your very confidence with her, weigh everything by gain, or choosing her, if for a moment you were false enough to your one guiding principle to do so? Do I not know that your repentance and regret would surely follow? I do, and I release you with a full heart for the love of him you once were. The memory of what is half past makes me hope you will have pain in this, a very, very brief time, and will dismiss the recollection gladly, as an unprofitable dream from which it happened well that you woke. May you be happy, in the life you've chosen.
Spirit, conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me?
One shadow more.
No more, no more. I don't wish to see it.
Belle, I saw an old friend of yours this afternoon.
Who was it?
Yes,
How can I? I don't know. Mr. Scrooge?
Mr. Scrooge indeed. I passed this office window, and as it was not shut up and had a candle inside, I could scarcely help seeing him. His partner lies upon the point of death, I hear, and there he sat alone. Quite alone in the world, I do believe.
Spirit, remove me from this place.
I told you, these are but shadows of the things that have been done. They are what they are. Do not blame me.
Spirit, take me back. I cannot bear it. Hold me no longer.
I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You've not seen the likes of me before, have you?
Never.
Have not walked forth with the other members of my family, meaning my younger brothers born in these later years?
I don't think I have. No, I have not. How many brothers do you have, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
A tremendous family to provide for. Spirit, last night I went on compulsion and learned a lesson which is working now. If you want to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe.
Is there any peculiar flavor you sprinkle from your torch?
There is my own.
Will it apply to any kind of dinner on this day?
To any kindly given, to a poor one most.
Why do you pour the one most?
Because it needs it most.
Spirit, I wonder you, and of all beings in the world about us, should desire to crown these people's opportunities of innocent enjoyment. You would deprive their means to dine on the seventh day, on which they would be able to dine at all. You seek to close these places on the seventh day, and it comes to the same thing.
I seek.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it has been done in your name, or at least in that of your family.
There are those on this earth who lay claim to know us, and do their deeds of passion, pride, ill will, hatred, envy, bigotry, and selfishness in our name. But they are as known to us and our kith and kin as though they had never lived. Remember this, and charge their doings on themselves, not us.
I will remember that.
Where is your father? And your little brother, Tiny Tim? And Martha went to St. Patrick's for half an hour.
Here's Martha, Mother.
Here's Martha, Mother. Hurrah! That's such a goose, Martha.
Why, bless your heart alive, my dear. How late you are.
We had a deal of work to finish up last night and had to clear away this morning, Mother.
Well, never mind so long as you have come. Sit down before
before the fire, my dear, and have a warm. Lord bless you.
No, there's father coming. Hide, Martha, hide.
Why, where's Aunt Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming? Not coming upon Christmas Day? Oh, Father, I couldn't bear to see you disappointed, even if only for a small joke. It's lovely to see you, Martha.
And how does our little man behave?
As good as gold, and better. He gets thoughtful somehow, sitting on his own so much, and thinks of the strangest things you ever heard. He told me, coming home, that he hoped the people in the church saw him, because he was a cripple, and it might be pleasant for them to remember upon Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. I think he grows stronger and more hearty every day. I don't believe such a magnificent goose has ever been cooked before.
It all smells so delicious.
One day, we'll be able to treat ourselves to full turkey. Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us. God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered, the child will die.
No. Spirit, say he will be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my kin will find him here. And what of it? If he be like to die, he'd better do it, and decrease the surplus population. Mad, if mad you be in your heart, not adamant forbear to know that wicked can't until you know what the surplus is and where it is. Who are you to decide what men shall live and what men shall die? It may be that in the sight of heaven you are more worthless and less fit to live than others like this poor man's child. Oh God, to hear the cricket on the leaf pronouncing on much to life of his hungry brothers in the dust.
To Mr. Scrooge, I give Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I hope he has a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day?
It should be Christmas Day, on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as he is. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you do, poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day?
I'll drink his health for your sake in the days, not for his long life to him. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
Christmas was a humbug, as I lived. He believed it too.
More shame for him, Fred.
He's a comical old fellow, that's the truth, and not so pleasant as he might be. However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against him.
I'm sure he's very rich, Fred. At least you always tell me so.
What of that, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He don't do any good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it. He hasn't the satisfaction of thinking that he is ever going to benefit us with it.
I have no patience with him.
Oh, I have. I am sorry for him, who suffers by his ill whims himself always. Here he takes it into his head to dislike us, and he won't come and dine with us. What's the consequence? You don't lose much of a dinner.
Indeed, I think he loses a very good dinner.
Well, I'm glad you think so, because I haven't great faith in these young housekeepers. What do you say, Talker?
I'm not sure one in my position has the right to express opinions on such matters.
Oh, do go on, Fred. He never finishes what he begins to say. He is such a ridiculous fella.
I was only going to say that the consequence of his taking a disliking to us and not making merry with us is, as I think, that he loses some pleasant moments. I'm sure he loses pleasanter companions than he can find in his own thoughts, either in his moldy old office or its dusty chambers. I mean to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not, for I pity him. He may rail at Christmas till he dies, but he can't help thinking better of it. I defy him. If he finds me going there in good temper year after year and saying, "Uncle Scrooge, how are you?" If it even puts him in the vein to leave his poor clerk 50 pounds, that's something. And I think I shook him yesterday.
Fred, what if we play a game?
All right, I have a game we can play. It's called Yes and No. I have to think of something, and the rest of you have to find out what it is I'm thinking of. However, I can only answer your questions with yes or no.
Is it an animal?
Yes.
Is it a live animal?
A rather disagreeable animal?
A savage animal?
Yes.
Is it an animal that runs and growls?
Yes.
Does it live in London?
Yes.
A horse?
No.
How?
No.
A donkey.
Yes and no.
A dog?
No.
A cat?
No.
A bear.
No.
Fred, I know what it is. I know what it is.
What is it?
It's your Uncle Scrooge.
Yes.
Well, in that case, you should have said yes when I asked if it was a bear.
He has given us plenty of merriment, to be sure, and it would be ungrateful not to drink his health. Here's a glass of mulled wine ready to our hand at the moment, and I say to Uncle Scrooge,
To Uncle Scrooge.
a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man, whoever he is. He wouldn't take it from me, but he had it nevertheless. Uncle Scrooge!
I have not aged at all since I've been with you, but you seem to age many years. Our spirits' lives so short.
My time on this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight,
Tonight at midnight, hark! The time is drawing near.
forgive me for what I'm not justified in what I ask you. I see something protruding from behind you. Is it perhaps a foot or a claw?
It could be a claw, for there is flesh upon it. Man, look here! Look down here, man!
Spirit! Are they yours?
They're man's, and they cling to me, abiding from their fathers. This boy is ignorance, the girl is want. Beware them both, in all their degree. But most of all, beware this boy, for upon his brow is that written, which is doom. And unless the writing be erased, deny it, slander those who tell it ye. I made it for your factious purposes, and make it worse, and abide the end.
Have they no refuge or resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
Stand I in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come? Dear God, this should be the shadows of the things that have not yet happened, but the shadows of the things that will happen. Is that so, Spirit? Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectre that I have seen. But I know your purpose is to do me good, and I am prepared to bear you company. Will you not speak to me? Lead on, Spirit, lead on. The night is waning fast, and it is precious time to me. Lead on, Spirit.
You know, I haven't heard much about it. Either way, I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Why? What was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die.
God knows.
What has he done with his money?
I haven't heard. He left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know. It's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know of anybody to go to it. Suppose I can make up a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going if a lunch is provided, but I must be there if I make one.
Well, I'm the most disinterested among us after all, for I never wear my gloves and I never eat lunch. But I suppose I'll go if anybody else will. When I come to think of it, I'm never not sure I wasn't his most particular friend, for he used to stop and speak whenever we met.
Well, old Scratch got his own that last day.
So the prophecy foretold.
It's cold, isn't it?
Seasonable time for Christmas. You're not a skater, I suppose.
No.
Well, you gentlemen have a fine day. Maybe we'll meet again at the funeral.
Solomon alone to be the first, let the laundress alone to be the second, and let the undertaker's man alone to be the third. Look here, old Joe, here's the chance. If we were all three met here without meaning it.
You couldn't have met in a better place. Come into the parlor, you were made free of it long ago, you know, and the other two ain't strangers. Stop till I shut the door of a shop. Oh, how it shrieks. There ain't such a rusty bit of metal when the place has its own hinges, I believe. I'm sure there's no such old bones here as mine. We're all citizens who are calling, we're well matched. Come into the parlor, come into the parlor.
What odds then? What odds, Miss Dover? Every person has the right to take care of themselves. You always did.
That's true indeed. No man more so.
Why then? Don't stand staring as if you was afraid, woman. Who's the wiser? Not going to pick holes in each other's coats, I suppose.
No, indeed. We should hope not.
Very well then, that's enough. Who's the wise of the loss of a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose.
True indeed.
If he wanted to keep him after he was dead, oh look at old Screw. Why wasn't he more natural in his lifetime? If he had been, he'd have had someone to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying, gasping on his last there, alone by himself.
It's the truest words that was ever spoke. It's a judgment on him.
I wish it was a little heavier judgment, and it should have been. You may depend upon it, if I could have laid my hands on anything else. Open a bundle, Joe. Let me know the value of it. Speak out plain. I'm not afraid to be the first, nor afraid for them to see it. We knew pretty well that we were helping ourselves before we all met here. I believe it's no sin. Open the bundle, Joe.
That's my account, and truthfully, wouldn't give another sixpence. If I was to be beroiled for not doing it, who's next? I always give too much to ladies, and that's the way I ruin myself. That's your account. If you ask me for another penny amid an open question, I repent being so liberal and knock off half a crown.
And now undo my bundle, Joe.
What do you call these? Bed curtains?
Oh, bed curtains.
You don't mean you took them down rings and all of him lying there?
Yes, I do. Why not?
You were born to make your fortune. You'll certainly do it.
I certainly shan't hold my hand when I can get anything in it by reaching it out. For the sake of the man he was, I promise you, Joe. Don't drop the oil upon the blankets now.
His blankets?
Whose else do you think? He isn't likely to take cold without them, I dare say.
I hope he didn't die when he'd been gashing, eh?
Don't you be afraid of that. I am so fond of his company that I'd lord about such things if he did. You can look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find a hole in it nor a threadbare place. It's the best he had, and a fine one too. Then I've wasted it if it hadn't been for me.
We call wasting of it.
Putting it on him to be buried in, I'm sure. Somebody was fool enough to do it, but I took it off again. If calico ain't good enough for such a purpose, it isn't good enough for anything. This is the end of it, you see. He frightened everyone away when he was alive to profit us when he was dead.
Philip, I see that the case of this unhappy man might be my own. Merciful heaven, what is this? Philip, if there is any man or woman in this town who is affected by this man's death, show them to me. I beseech you.
Have you heard any news? Is it good or bad?
Bad.
We are quite ruined.
There is hope yet, Caroline.
If he resents there is, nothing is past hope if such a miracle has happened.
It is past relenting. He's dead. What the half-crooked woman said to me last night is not just a mere excuse to but turns out to have been quite true. He was not only very ill, but dying then too.
To whom will our debt be transferred?
I don't know, but before that time we shall be ready with the money. And even though we were not, it would be a bad fortune indeed to find so merciless a creditor to his successor. We may sleep with light hearts tonight, Caroline.
Let me see some tenderness connected with the death, or dark chamber we just left just now, which will forever present to me, spirit.
And he took a child and set him in the midst of them.
The color hurts my eyes. The color. Oh, poor Tiny Tim.
They're better now again. It makes them weak by candlelight, and I wouldn't show weak eyes to your father. For the world, it must be nearest time. Past it, rather. I believe he has been late these last few evenings, Mother. I have known him to walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder, very fast indeed. And so have I, often. And so have I. But he was very late to carry, so that it was no trouble. No trouble. And there's your father at the door.
You three have done a wonderful job with the knitting. No doubt they'll be ready for Sunday.
Sunday, you went today then, Robert?
Yes, my dear. I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is. But you'll see it often. I promised him I'd go there on Sunday. Oh, my little child. You know, I saw Mr. Scrooge's nephew today. I'd only met him but once before, but seeing him in the street today, he said he looked just a little down, you know, and asked what happened to distress me so, on to which he's the pleasantest spoken man you ever heard. I told him, heartily sorry for it, Mr. Cratchit, he said, and heartily sorry for your good wife. By the by, how he ever knew that, I don't know.
Knew what, my dear?
Why, that you were a good wife.
Everybody knows that.
Well observed, my boy. I hope they do. Heartily sorry for it, he said, for your good wife. If I can be of any service to you, he told me, handing me his card, that is where I live. Pray come to me. Now, it wasn't for the sake of anything he might be able to do for us, but for his kind way that this was delightful. It really seemed as if he had known our Tiny Tim and felt with us.
I'm sure he's a good soul.
You would be sure of it, my dear, if you saw and spoke to him. I shouldn't be at all surprised. Mark what I say. He got Peter a better situation.
Oh, hear that, Peter?
And then?
Peter will be keeping company with someone and setting up all for himself.
Get along with you. It's just as likely as not these days, though there's plenty of time for that, my dear. But however, and whenever we part from one another, I'm sure none of us shall forget poor Tiny Tim, shall we, or this first parting that there was among us?
Never, Father.
And I know, my dears, that we recollect how patient and how mild he was, although he was a little child. We shall not quarrel easily among ourselves and forget poor Tiny Tim in doing it.
No, never, Father.
Spirit, I know that no parting from it is at hand, but I don't know how. But tell me, who was that dead man they were speaking of before? Spirit, I can see my place of business from here. Let me behold my days to come. The house is yonder. Why do you point away? Before I draw nearer to that stone to which you point. Answer me one question. Are these the shadows of the things that will be, or the shadows of the things that may be so? Men's courses will foreshadow certain ends in which they'll be preserved in, but if these courses may be departed from, the endings will change. Say it thus with what you'll show me. Am I that man who lay upon that bed? No, No spirit! No! I am not the man I was. I am not the man I must have been throughout this intercourse. Why show me this throughout the past? Oh, hope. Good spirit, your nature intercedes me. Why show me this? Spirit, I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. Oh, tell me this will sponge away the writing on this stone. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. Oh, Christmas and the heavens, oh, Jacob Marley, I say it on my knees. I say it on my knees. They're not torn down. Rings alone. They are here. I am here. The shadows of the things that must have been. A Merry Christmas to everyone and a Happy New Year! There's the saucepan that the gruel was in. There's the fireplace that Jacob Marley appeared. There's the corner where it goes to Christmas present set. It's true. It all happened. I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I've been a baby. Never mind. I'd rather be a baby. Hello there. Hello. Hello there.
Hello.
What's today?
Eh?
What's today, my fine fellow?
Why, it's Christmas Day.
Today's Christmas Day? Why, the spirits can do anything like... Of course they can. Hello, my fine fellow.
Hello.
Do you know if the poulterer is on the next street? You know, on the corner?
Yes, why, I should hope I did.
A remarkable boy. Do you know if they sold the prize turkey? Not the small one, but the big one.
The one that's as big as me.
Yes, my bot.
It's hanging there now.
Go by it.
Walker.
No. In earnest. I'll give you direction. Come back with the man and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you a hefty crown. I'll send it to both branches. You shall know who sent it. It's twice the size of Danny Tim. Joe Miller never sent it to both Willoughby. And here's the turkey. Hello. How are you? Well, it's supposed to carry a turkey that big, but you must have a gap. Hello, my dear sir. It's very kind of you to visit us today. A Merry Christmas to you.
Mr. Scrooge?
Why, yes, that is my name. And though it may be unpleasant to hear that from you, allow me to ask for a pardon.
Lord bless me, my dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
If you please, if not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included within it.
My dear sir, I don't know what to say to such a munificent amount of money.
Oh, please, don't say anything. Will you come and see me? Will you come and see me?
We will.
Thank ye. I am much obliged. Thank ye 50 times. Is your master home?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'll go in there.
She's in the dining room. Upstairs, please.
Thank you. knows me. Fred!
Why, bless my soul, who's that?
It is I, your Uncle Scrooge. Am I still welcome to come dine with you?
Why, of course, Uncle.
Hello. What reason do you have for being late at this time of day?
I am very sorry, sir. I am behind my time.
You are? I mean, you are. Step this way, sir. If you please.
It's only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
Now I will not stand this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, I am about to raise your salary. A Merry Christmas, Bob! A Merrier Christmas than I have given you. We will discuss your affairs with your family over a smoky Christmas bowl of bishop, and you will buy another coal sculpture before you dump another eyeball. Cratchit?
Good old Scrooge kept his word. He did everything and infinitely more. He became as good a friend and as good a man as all London knew. But Tiny Tim, who did not die, Scrooge became a second father. If I do say so myself, Scrooge knew how to keep Christmas well, but he had no more intercourse with spirits. People laughed to see mean old Scrooge in a happy glow, but he little heeded them. His own heart laughed, and it was enough for him. It was enough for all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone!